obviously just disappointed in the performance, and we got to take ownership as a coaching staff first, right, and as the head coach first, and that our guys weren't prepared for whatever reason. We got to take a deep dive and figure out what it was. You can point your finger at any person, any specific unit, but the reality is we better point the finger at ourselves and figure out what were the issues that led to the lack of execution. And so we obviously know we got to take care of the football. You can't turn the ball over 5 times and expect to win. But I know everybody's going to point the finger at Sam. You better point the finger at us, at me. We got to protect him. We got to do a better job protecting our quarterback and putting him in situations to have a higher percentage for success. And so, a lot of self-reflection. We're going to have to do a deep dive into exactly where the shortcomings happened at, and we got to get this thing figured out, and we got to turn it around because we got USC coming in next weekend. So we don't have a lot of time to feel sorry for ourselves. We better get back to work and start preparing for this next upcoming game. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Tim?
Yeah, Coach, went into the decision to rotate the guards and center in the first quarter and into the second quarter?
Yeah, we had made that decision throughout the week. Again, we have to be better at the guard position, and that was something that was evident last game. And we said, hey, we're going to roll some guys at the guard position, and we got to do a better job at protecting our quarterback. And so, we'll have to go and watch the film and see how each guard did, but we didn't protect the quarterback the way we needed to.
More questions? Yes.
Coach, you were averaging well over 150 yards rushing, and you just never really could seem to get the running game going. And then when you did get a passing game, they really put the pressure on Sam.
Yeah, correct. They did a good job, a really good job. We didn't run the ball well, and they pressured the quarterback.
Did they do anything that, not new or anything, but have you seen them put that much pressure on anybody, or had a team put that much pressure on you this year?
No, nobody's affected our quarterback quite like Louisville did, and so you have to give them credit. And they were stacking the box and saying, hey, we're going to refuse to let you run the ball, and that means we got to make some plays in the passing game. And so we did it, and we got to make sure that we can not let this happen again.
Their offensive line probably blocked better tonight than they have in a while. But Jordan, your thoughts about him and what he did for them?
He's a good player. Good player. We missed a tackle and he scored that long touchdown, so good player.
We'll move on.
Or the 4th and 11 decision to go for it about 10 minutes to go in the game. Can you just sort of take me through what led you to that?
Yeah, 2-score game, right? And so you play the percentage, hey, we either got to get a 3 and out if we punt the ball and hope that we get enough time to go have 2 separate possessions, or you try to convert right there and play the percentages of, okay, so even if you don't convert here and you go 3 and out, you force them kick the field goal, it's still a 2-point game. And so that went into my decision.
Third down wasn't great for you guys tonight. A couple play calls, jet sweeps. What was the thought process there instead of maybe trying to run off or up the middle?
Yeah, I don't know what play call exactly you're talking about.
The Tyree fumble, and then one before that too.
Yeah, it was a play we worked in practice, right? It wasn't a jet sweep. We faked the toss and kind of ran a counter. Mm-hmm. They pressured it, and it wasn't an execution. They pressured it, and we didn't get the guy blocked, and obviously caused the fumble there. But it was a situation where I can't remember exactly, but I think we're going to go if it was within 1 or 2 yards, and so that's probably why we decided to do that play at that moment.
Jack.
Marcus, you talked about Jordan briefly, but what do you think were the issues with the run defense tonight?
I'll have to go and see. I know I don't know how long that one run he had was for a touchdown, but I know that contributed to a lot of the yardage. I thought our defense battled for the most part, and put in some bad situations late in the game, but for the most part, I thought they did a pretty good job. The third series of the second half, right, was the long touchdown run. Then we get we get them off the field on 3rd down and we get the penalty. That hurt. You can't have that, man. And you finally get them off the field. We get a face mask, I think they had on Maris, and then they drove in and we missed a tackle in the hole and he scored again. And so, we got to clean up every aspect of it, not just the touchdown, but the plays that led to the touchdown.
Pete Byrne.
Marcus, what kind of job do you think you have to do this week with the guys to kind of mentally get them over this? I'm sure they're disappointed.
Yeah, you know, you don't have much time to feel sorry for yourself, and that comes from me as the head coach and our leaders. I'm going to really count on our leaders to make sure these guys understand that we got to learn from this game, and then we got to move forward and get ready for USC. We cannot sit here and mope and feel bad for ourselves. We have to move forward, and so this will be a true test of our leadership, starting with me and our captains.
We'll end with Mike.
Thomas Harper, his absence, what was that related to, and that helpful with the ripple effect on
Yeah, he was out with a concussion, and so he was in concussion protocol and wasn't ready to return to play. So C. Lou did a good job of stepping in there, and Cam Harp had some nickel reps, and so obviously you don't want to lose a great player like Thomas Harper, but you know, expect him to be back next week and a lot more work to do. All right, thanks, sir.
Thanks, Coach.
Sir, Tyler.
Joe, there was some offensive line shuffling around you in the first half. I was curious, what's that like for you as someone, you know you're going to be out there, but you don't know who's going to be next to you? And was that part of the game plan going in? You knew that you guys were going to be doing that?
Yeah, we did know that going in that we were going to do some adjustments in there. You know, did a couple series here and there. We were going to change it up, so knew going in. We had practiced all week. We prepared for it. We got work with everybody who we were going to play next to, so we were prepared going into it.
On the left.
Their defense put a lot of pressure on you guys as the game wore on. It seemed like they wore you down a little bit. Just comment about that and how they were able to, you know, almost own the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think for us, we just got to, you know, look in mentally and, you know, see individually, start as an individual and see where you broke down and what you got to work on. And then as an offensive line, we got to work together and, you know, we got to be 5 as one and we got to break it down individually, then as a group and see where we need to improve and go forward.
Did he surprise you with his quickness? A couple of times he hit the hole, looked like he'd been shot out of a cannon.
I mean, yeah, they were definitely a good football team. We definitely did a lot of preparing on film. We just gotta, you know, we gotta play better all around.
Jack.
Joe, as a captain, as a leader, how do you respond from this, and how do you kind of help your team respond to this?
Yeah, I think for us, the first thing we gotta do is get in the film room, and you know, we gotta analyze our mistakes, and you gotta start with yourself. I gotta start with myself and see what I did wrong and what I need to do better, and then you work as a group. So, offensive line, how are we gonna be better? And then as a leader, you gotta just make sure you keep everyone together, and we gotta focus on ourselves and how are we gonna get better from this game, learn from our mistakes, and move on because it's another game next week we gotta get ready for.
Tyler.
Joe, ignoring maybe some miscommunication issues with the offensive line, do you feel like they were physically dominant against you guys tonight?
I think we just kind of. I don't think they were physically more dominant than us. I think we just kind of got on our heels a little bit with our confidence level. I think we got to continue to be confident through our looks and trusting ourselves and trusting our abilities.
Pete Byrne.
Joe, what were they doing up front that was creating difficulty for you guys?
Yeah, I mean they're a pressure team, high pressure team. Did a lot of movement inside, and we just got to continue to work together and watch film, pick it up in practice, and move forward. And we just weren't at our best today.
Pete Sampson.
Joe, Marcus is here, so you didn't feel like you guys were prepared as a captain, as a leader. How much of that goes into the Tuesday, the Wednesday? He's talked a lot about winning those days leads to winning on Saturday. Do you feel like the change has to happen, either a mentality or just how much you guys are putting in?
I think our preparation, it can always get better. Every week we're trying to get a little better. That's been preaching since day one. It's how are we going to get better? How are we going to get better? So I think every week we got to get better, and that's something we got to work on. That's in preparation. That's in watching film. That's in improving your individual as a group. So I think you're always trying to get better in your preparation, how you're responding each week.
Two straight weeks, Joe, on third down has just gone sideways, especially in short yardage when you're there. What's the confidence level at this point? How far has it dropped in terms of just being able to even get 1 yard when you need it?
I think we just got to kind of come back as an offensive line and understand that that's the down we have to get. 3rd and 1 is just on our shoulders, and we got to look back and see where we're falling short, where individually we're falling short, and as a unit we got to go forward. And that's a down we got to win as an offensive line. That's a dominant line of scrimmage type of deal. So we got to learn to win that down, and that's something we got to take pride in. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Controlled the running game up until about the middle of the 3rd quarter. What did they adjust anything? Did they do anything differently where they started getting the edge on you guys for those 2 long touchdown runs and a couple of your games?
Yeah, honestly, we just need to be assignment sound. We make sure everyone's in our gaps. And I mean, it's hard talking about it right now. I haven't seen the film, and we'll obviously go back and just make sure guys are in their gaps and we're playing to the ball and just make sure we get as many hats to the ball as possible.
Allison.
game, some of you guys stayed out on the field for a little bit. What happened? Was there a scuffle or something that you guys were?
No, I just wanted to stay out there and make sure all our guys got in, so don't get caught out there, and so that was the main thing.
JD, it seemed like the first series they had some success with the speed option. Was that something that caught you guys off guard, and did you guys have to sort of adjust to what they were doing with that?
Yeah, we've seen it on film and just need to make sure we play that better. And I mean, I think going back to that first series, like, we just need to start fast so they don't have that momentum going into the game. And I mean, it's hard when a team puts 7 up on that first drive, and so that's on the defense, and we need to start faster.
Does it change things when you feel like you're sort of like constantly tinkering to correct, rather than coming out with a 3 and out and feeling confident after that?
I mean, there's always going to be adjustments on the sideline, and so no matter what, we just need to make sure we get our jobs done.
Thanks.
Yvonne?
JD, you talked about staying out in the field, making sure your teammates got in. What do you do over the next 6-7 days to rebound from this against USC?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we already talked about in our linebacker core, and we're going to challenge the entire defense, is find something that you can do better to make sure that we beat USC. And I mean, no matter what it is, no matter who it is, you got to find your role and you got to find that job and make sure that next week we do it better, and then go back and watch this film and see where we can enhance our team as a whole.
JD, as a captain, where does the attitude of your team lie right now, and what are you going to do this week to kind of turn it around? It's been a long run to this point. So.
I mean, the biggest thing is get back to work, and I mean that honestly starts when the wheels of the plane hit the ground tomorrow, or I guess this morning, and so just make sure we get back to work and make sure that each guy, as I said, finds that thing to get better at. And defensively, we need to make sure we're playing complementary football. Like, we can't lose that takeaway battle, and so that's one of the big things that we're going to be emphasizing, and we got to do better.
Jordan's quickness seemed to, a couple of times, he really got through the hole quickly. Have y'all seen a guy quick like that this year? And what's your impressions of him?
Yeah, I mean, we've played a lot of really good backs, and so it obviously just goes back to us and making sure we're assignment sound and make sure that we're bringing our feet on those tackles and making sure that we get as many hats to the ball as possible.
Any other questions? Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.